How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. It did have a slight pullback inside of the market, but like I spoke about in the previous video, you want to see a move going to 47.50. And if it was able to gain momentum from there, then we could start calling this thing out at 50 bucks. But we had resistance at $47.59. So I was very close there, but I want to make sure you guys are ready for the rest of the week, so I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to take a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $45.43, being down 0.09%. On the low, it tested $44.03, and then on the high, testing $47.59. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 49.445 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 46.391 million shares. So we did end up having above average volume on the day, and also we have to keep in mind we had this pullback. We have been running up for quite a bit, so that is natural. Now when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below it's right around 59.92. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 50-day. So one of the things I was bringing to your attention, you want to see a continuation of higher lows, and that is exactly what we have been getting. We have been seeing this for the past 5 trading days. So this is one of the reasons why Lucid does remain to be bullish in regard to its overall setup. Also, when I mentioned in the previous video that if it was able to get above 47.50, we could see it really start taking off and then making that move to $50. But we ended up seeing the high at 47.59. So we had a good idea there was going to be selling pressure around this area. So if it decides to break down or if it wants to be bearish, then I'll be looking out for this level here right around $43.38. If it goes below that, this is where I could see some downside pressure. So if Lucid continues to make these higher lows and so forth, this is why I'm saying $50 could be coming in the near future. So let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 53.99%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 17.75 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 30 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is currently not available. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of January the 10th, it was at 51.03. And then for the close of January the 11th, which was yesterday, it is at 53.99. So what this tells us, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why we see a lot of volatility inside of this play. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 433, and then on the outflow is at 479. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, on the large, it was 11.13. On the medium, it was 200, and on the small, it was 222. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 5.38. Then on the medium, it was 226, and then on the small, it was 248. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see out of the past 5 trading days, 4 of them have been inflow days, and also for January the 12th today, we ended up seeing an inflow of 5.75 million. That is a difference. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. But when we take a look at the large, which potentially represent institutions, this is where we had 11.13 million versus an outflow of 5.38 million. So institutions continuing to buy into shares. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.01%. So this is not too bad whatsoever considering how much Lucid has been running up. And this is why I see a lot of demand and there's strength inside of this stock. Many are buying up those dips. We saw it get low to the $44.03 range, but again, ended up picking itself back up. So that's why you want to keep an eye on this stock, especially going into tomorrow. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, the key area that you want to look out for is at $43.38. If this area does ever end up breaking, this is where you could see some downside pressure. As far as where you want to see it hold up, since it does continue to form higher lows and continue its bullish pattern, you want to see some strength on a pullback being at that same $44 level, $44.80 to be exact. It could also be around $44.60 as well. But again, you want to see that strength there if you're going to be playing it to the long side, because if it could hold these areas and we do have that above average volume, this is where we can look forward to seeing that retest to 47.50s and then seeing where we can go from there, maybe possibly 50. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. There are many shorts who are vested inside of this play. So you know, if you have all of that buying pressure coming in, this stock will make moves to the upside. We could also see institutions are continuing to load up, and also many are continuing to buy the dip. So even though we do have retail taking some profits, we still have a good amount of retail who are buying in. But since institutions and funds take up most of the activity that we see inside of the stock market, if they're going to continue to buy, then this stock is going to continue to run up. So as far as for the pullback that we ended up seeing today, which was not that big whatsoever, this is healthy, this is natural. Let's see what it does going into tomorrow. But I do know the volatility will continue, especially going into the end of next week, because we do have that lockup period that we got to look out for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.